Hello, 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 and welcome back. I'm Shakia, and in this episode, we're going to continue our Meet the Cast series from the show on Bravo, Love Without Borders. Okay, let's jump into it. Aaron is 31. He lives in North Dakota. He's an optometrist, and Aaron says, "Listen, when I use dating apps in my area, I just swipe." And he goes, "That's it. It's just one swipe." Aaron is gay, and where he lives, he does not have a lot of options. There are not a lot of options for him. So he said he wanted to use this show, use this social experiment so that he can find love, so that he can find his match. Aaron shares that his parents are more conservative, and so they're still trying to really understand Aaron being gay. He says, but his mom is coming around. She's coming around. He goes, "Yeah, she told me about someone who she knows who's gay and who I might be interested in." And it's the local weatherman on TV. And so he's like, "Okay, you're trying, mom. Thanks." Um, but Aaron really, he does want to find somebody. He shares a little bit about his past relationship, which wasn't very long. It was maybe 7 or 8 months, something like that. But he unfortunately was ghosted by this man, and he felt that he had a genuine connection with him. He thought that this relationship was going to, like go somewhere, like they were both in it for the long haul, but apparently the other person did not feel the same way. And that kind of crushed Aaron. And so now he's saying he is open and he is ready to find love. So, of course, Miss Erica comes to the house. Actually, she shows up at his job. Aaron works for his brother. They're all doctors. And Aaron works for his brother, and during one of his confessionals, he goes, "Well, I guess I'm quitting," talking to his brother. I can't remember his brother's name right now, but he's talking to the camera, talking to his brother, and he says, "I guess I'm quitting so that he can go through with this social experiment of finding love in some other country." He doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know when he'll be back. And so he does, I'm going to go backwards a little bit. Aaron, he talks to his family, his parents and his brother around the dinner table about this experiment, about leaving. And the mom, it's I don't know if you caught this. You probably did. As Aaron is talking, he says, "Well, I've met somebody who I've been talking to."
I've been talking with somebody. Her name's Erica.
And he says, "She," and the mom's face is like, "Really? Really? Really?" "She's been helping me to find my match." And then the mom is like, "Oh, okay." But then eventually, the mom says, "Well, I hope you do find the person that you are looking for with this experiment." But she is definitely sad to have him leave. You can tell that. She's like, "Oh, I don't really want you to go." So then when Erica shows up at the job, I think they like go over to his house because she's like, "You gotta pack, we gotta leave in a few hours." And he says, "Wait, I have to call my mom first." And so he calls his mom, and the mom is just like, "Okay, be safe. Let me know when you get there. I love you." But you can tell she wants him to be happy, but she's also sad that her son is leaving. And so after that, he starts packing up. Erica sees some things that he has, and she goes, "Oh, well, you are going to look for love." I'm going to keep this PG. She says, "You are going to look for love. And oh, I think this person is going to be very happy," based off of what she saw that Aaron had while he was packing. You know what I'm talking about. And so, um, fast forward, they get to the airport. She hands him his boarding pass, and Aaron gets to go to Paris. He's off to France. And Aaron says, "Well, I'm not good with geography. I think this is the one that's shaped like a boot." And we're all like, "No, Aaron, no." And look, I'm not good with geography either, but come on. Come on, no, not the one shaped like a boot. We know where that is. So later he gets on the plane and he's filming himself and he says, "Oh, by the way, I was wrong. The one that's shaped like a boot is Italy. That's not where I'm going." And so he lands, and he makes his way to his match's apartment, and his match comes downstairs, and they're both super nervous, super nervous. His match is Mael. Oh, Mael seems so freaking sweet, but like straightforward, like straightforward. He's not gonna really beat around the bush, but he just seems he has this like calming energy to him. I'll put it that way. And I'm hoping that these two will connect with each other, but what I will say is it definitely feels awkward. Their first set of conversations, it's very awkward. And it's like, so yeah, uh-huh, okay. That's what it sounds like to me. Just like a lot of pauses and things like that. But they go upstairs. Oh, before they go upstairs, Mael lives in an apartment. He lives in an apartment, and the elevator is so tiny that they just send the luggage up in the elevator. And Mael and Aaron, they walk up the stairs to go to his apartment. Then they get into the apartment, and Aaron is like, "Oh, okay." And Mael says, "Yes, the apartments in Paris are very small." I remember the first time I went to Paris, and I was like, everything is so tiny. Everything is so I love it, but everything is so tiny. So I could definitely relate to Aaron's reaction when he saw the apartment. It was just really small. And Aaron is like, "I am taller than the bed is long." And so both Aaron and Mael are thinking, I don't know how it's going to be. Mael shares that he has, I think it was Mael who shared he hasn't lived with a partner before. He said he's also looking for love, that a lot of his friends have found it. And he's like, okay, well, when is it going to be my turn? Mael says he has been in relationships, but he hasn't found true love. And so here's to hoping that this can be true love. Okay, so the apartment is super small. Mael is waiting in the kitchen. Aaron goes into the bathroom. And I don't know why. Bravo is so shady. We see that Aaron is in the bathroom for a while, but also he was on this long behind flight. So he had to probably take care of some things up in that bathroom. I think another couple, Phil and Carmen, I think that also happened with Phil, where he had to go to the bathroom too. I think all of them need to go to the bathroom. Listen, and they had to do some things up in that bathroom because they are human and they just had this long day of travel. Okay. But Bravo's so shady. We can hear, we can like see the time lapse, like, oh, he's been in there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes now. Finally, he comes out, he goes to wash his hands, and they talk about the apartment and they get to know each other. What's your name, kind of thing. Isn't that something where it's like, what's your name? But I'm going to be living with you for 3 months. Would you do that? Would you be open to doing that? Letting somebody live in your house who you do not know? I keep talking about it from the perspective of the people who are flying over to these countries to meet their potential match. But think about the host, right? Think about the person whose home this is, and they are letting the stranger into their home. So that's very interesting. Is that something you would do? Y'all, I don't think I'm that brave. I don't know. I don't think that's something I would do. So Erica says in one of the confessional scenes regarding Mael, he has a huge heart and he knows how to communicate. And he can help Aaron to be more vulnerable with his emotions because Aaron does seem a little bit closed off, a little bit more reserved, maybe not as, confident in himself just yet. Maybe he couldn't always be himself. And like he didn't get his, I think, first he wasn't involved in the relationship that he talked about until he like moved somewhere else. He moved to LA and then he perhaps maybe felt a little bit more comfortable, but then he moved back to his hometown and you know perhaps people there are more conservative and his a community or people who are part of the LGBTQ community perhaps are not there, right? And so maybe he feels more isolated, more alone. And so perhaps Mael can help him to feel more comfortable, but also, as Erica said, to be more open and vulnerable regarding his emotions and not so closed off, especially because of Aaron's past experience that really hurt him, that last relationship he had, it really hurt him. And Mael also shares some of the issues he's had with relationships at some point in one of the episodes. And they both discuss their coming out stories to their families. And Mael shares that he and his dad are repairing their relationship. I guess it was very hard for his dad. It caused distance between them, but now they are repairing their relationship. So that's something that Aaron and Mael can also bond over. And as they continue to get to know each other, I do think there is potential here. There is an initial attraction with each other. Obviously, we know that it takes more than attraction to make a relationship work, but nonetheless, there's an initial attraction. Mael said he thought that Aaron was cute, and Aaron said that he was looking for Thor. He was hoping Thor would show up, but Loki did. He said, but nonetheless, he's fine. He's cute. He's like, that's okay with me. Now, another moment that I thought was funny between Mael and Aaron, Mael, he cooks and he says to Aaron, "Oh, so you eat fast food a lot?" I think Aaron told him. And he says, you eat out a lot. And Mael asks, "Well, what type of restaurants do you go to? What type of food do you eat?" And Aaron is like, well, I eat fast food. And he's like, it's burgers. And they make jokes like burgers and tacos, just like the typical stereotypical American diet, right? And so Mael is like, oh my goodness, hearing what he eats, I hope he doesn't have a heart attack here in my apartment. He's like, that's a lot. Like, I thought that was funny. In episode 4, Aaron does seem to be a little bit more overwhelmed and anxious and homesick, and he's missing some things from home, and he's like, everything is just different. The way you get the water is different, the language is different, everything is different, and he was having a hard time. And Mael left him in the apartment by himself to give him some time alone, to get grounded. And when Mael got back, they go for a walk and then they go grab something to eat. But prior to that, Mael and Aaron, they went to the bridge, the famous bridge in Paris, and they what is it, the Love Bridge, and they put a locket on the bridge and with their initials. And Mael is like, well, I'm open to this process and I want to commit. And so let's do this as a symbol of our commitment to each other. And Aaron does it, but he's apprehensive. He lets us know in the confessional, he's like, I don't want to be pressured and I don't really know about this, but he didn't want to hurt Mael's feelings. And so I understand that, but I'm like, we do want to be truthful. Say what's on your mind. And perhaps this is what Erica meant when she said maybe Mael can help Aaron to be more vulnerable with his emotions, but also more expressive. And so later on in episode 4, when Aaron was having a hard time, and Mael comes back to the apartment and they do talk, Aaron did say, he's like, I don't want to be pressured. I feel like there's a lot of pressure. And Mael said, listen, we're going to be involved in this experiment. We're going to commit to this experiment, but I don't want you to feel pressured by me. I don't want you to feel pressured by me to have to like fall in love and everything work out perfectly. He's like, let's take things as they come and let's enjoy this time getting to know each other. And Aaron says, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. I think maybe Aaron felt like he had to be in love right away, or maybe he had doubts that this would work. I mean, this is an intense situation to be thrown into for both parties, whether you're the person flying to the unknown place or whether you're the person receiving the person who just showed up, whether you're the person receiving the stranger who just showed up and now you're gonna host them in your home. That's a lot to take in. So I understand where Aaron's emotions were coming from. I understand why he may have been overwhelmed and anxious and so forth. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about Mael and Aaron? There you have it. That's Aaron and Mael. That was a brief recap from episodes 2 through 4. Let me know what you think about this pair. Do you think that this is a good match? What do you think each of them could teach the other person? I would love to hear from you. Share in the comments. I want you to go out and have a courageous day. And when you get a chance, come on back for the next one. But until then, bye for now. Thanks for watching.